At long last, it's that time of the week once again, guys. My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Part 2, I guess, of the first season. This is episodes 3 through 5, where we left off last time, is we have the reveal that Norman was actually just looking for Peter Parker all along. That's what this whole smart person get-together at Oscorp thing was about. Now that we found Spider-Man, Norman's having a big dinner with the guy. Basically, the most important thing here is that Norman offers to help Spider-Man, which I cannot explain how much I absolutely adore this idea, because we're trading out Tony Stark as a mentor for Norman Osborn. So just two completely different sides of the same coin. But unfortunately, Peter says no, similar to how he said no to Tony Stark back in Homecoming. I cannot explain how much I love the Norman. All the Osborn stuff in this show is just done super well. Speaking of writing, let's just keep going with that. Lonnie is easily one of my favorite characters in the entire show. I had no idea. I feel like an incredibly fake fan going into this show because I didn't know who Lonnie was. Granted, I've played the first PS4 Spider-Man. I know Tombstone. I just forgot the Lonnie connection there. And I just love how we're taking all these minor characters and giving them these huge roles. That way we sympathize with them a lot more. Because the difference between the family drama and like crime lord drama in Lonnie's side of the story is insane. Okay, this is a very weird connection, but Lonnie is very close to BoJack Horseman's Mr. Peanut Butter. Now hear me out. We have the incredible lovable outside. He's always trying to make people happy. Then when he goes home, it's super sad. There's some anger there, some resentment. Granted, Mr. Peanut Butter did not turn into a massive crime lord with a tombstone hard head. But look, if they add another season, it's possible. But you know what? I think the worst part about this episode is something that disturbed me. During the lunch, Lonnie offers to pay for Nico, Peter's, and obviously his own lunch. Again, keep in mind, 3 little school lunches. My boy pulls a 20 out of his wallet, and that is somehow not enough to pay for the meals. He has to beg. My boy, I remember when juices were 40 cents. How far does 20 bucks get you? But no, jokes aside, the actual negatives, unfortunately, is still going to be the animation. I think that the show should have just gone for a 2D look. I think the 3D looks fine in a lot of parts, especially like the fight scenes. It's just the 3D specific stuff when the camera's going around and there's just a lot of motion and we see the faces moving. It just doesn't look right all the time. Like there's that shot in the beginning where the guy's like diving towards Spider-Man. I talked about this in the first episode, but it just doesn't look as good. But this is a good episode. We get a lot of, it's mostly like a Lonnie focused one. We get to see him interacting with the 110 Street Gang, and we get to see Spider-Man going off against some goons and a little bit of Norman helping out in there. The next episode is probably my favorite of the whole series so far. We actually get Norman helping out in a big way. We get some new suits. We get the reveal that the MCU is like kind of still happening, but it's like to the side. Like we learn about, the Sokovia Accords and Civil War is going on, except, Spider-Man's not involved. It's just happening over there, which again, I love these parallels. They could have absolutely just put that to the side. Don't even think about it, but I like how it plays a part in the show. But to be honest, I am absolutely dreading the inevitable Green Goblin arc, because this Norman is like my favorite one. I mean, nothing can beat Willem Dafoe, but I just love how this version of Norman Osborn is like a fanboy. So he's making all these different suits. We have like a Thor suit. We have like a mosquito dragonfly sort of suit, and this obvious like Batman reference suit. And then we end the episode with a god tier Dr. Octopus reveal. Looking comic accurate, beautiful. I'm loving it. And for the final episode, we got episode 6. Big thing at the beginning of this one, Harry finds out that Peter is Spider-Man. Now, it does not have the effect of the Raimi trilogy, where he's like, I'm gonna kill him. But no, he's just kind of cool to be with it. But I like that. I like how Harry isn't a main friend this time around. I like that about the MCU's version of Spider-Man in general. We have time for other characters to shine, because we've seen Harry right alongside Peter Parker 1.5 million times, so it's nice to get a change of pace. And as I said 2 episodes ago, we get another side character, and I'm loving how these side characters are done. they're brought to the main light, even regardless of being in like 2 issues. Unicorn, which is normally from what I believe to be an Iron Man villain, we see as a main character in this episode, just utilizing Doc Ock technology. It's basically just a laser beam on the forehead. Now, this is a pretty big fight by the end of the episode. I didn't really mention it before as it's not a massive part of the episodes, but we have this gang of like 4 people. They're breaking out of prison. 2 of them ditch, 2 of them stay, including Unicorn, this one big guy, I forget his name, but she's the one, Unicorn, who ends up trying to take on Spider-Man. And we have Harry sort of behind the helmet, trying to give Peter the details of how to defeat Unicorn. Now, I'll admit I was not really a big fan of how this fight ended, because Spider-Man does not beat Unicorn. There is not any realistic way that you can twist it where he does. Unicorn just makes a dick move against one of her teammates, almost killing him in the process. So the teammate takes off the helmet pretty much, giving Spider-Man an opportunity to go in there and web her up. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's perfectly fine if Spider-Man loses a few fights here and there, as long as there is a narrative purpose to it. Because at the end of it, it's still, the way that they were talking about it was still as if like Harry and Spider-Man did it. They finally took her out, but not really. It was just because of the other guy that they won. So I thought that was a little odd, but I'm not going to take away points for it. And of course, you know, we got to continue with all the Lonnie stuff. We actually get a scene of this version's Scorpion actual Scorpion tail, of course. We get a little fight between the Scorpions and the 110 Street Gang, which ends with Lonnie finally getting some respect. So yeah, final episode of the week. I'm really impressed with the whole series. I think there are little to no issues that I have with it. I think there are just a few story beats that I hope are paid off that I don't really know if they will. Mostly with things like Lonnie and Harry, because there are literally any single character that talks in this show is a comic book character. There are plenty of heroes and villains everywhere. I just don't know if we're gonna have time to fulfill all of these different little side quests. Granted, it doesn't need to be done all in one season. It's already been pre-approved for 3 seasons. I'm just hoping that at the end of this season, it'll be satisfying enough to keep me going on to the next one. My personal wishes, I hope Doc Ock takes a big leap of importance this season. Let's leave Norman to like season 2, season 3. I want some more of this different Norman that we see here. But I'm loving the way that we're treating Nico and Lonnie. We really see a lot of their character development. I'm gonna give episodes 3 through 5 a solid 8 out of 10. And that goes for all 3 episodes. But I'll see you guys for next week's episodes 6 through 8. See you then.